Alright, am I live? Question number 1, as always. Light is green, everything is good. I'm going to run under the assumption of yes. Because, god dang, I've only been hearing you know what from this game. Its title. No joke! It's like they're having actual conversation. Just listen. And I'm sure this guy's gonna say it at some point. Otherwise, welcome everyone. Daedric Diamond here. There he goes! He said it! God. He's still doing a way out. Well, I forgot about that. That's now gonna have to be a November thing. But yep. Second stream of the day. Stanley Parable, I have never played it. This is my first time. And I'm just gonna be blunt. I have no idea what this game is about. I didn't peek at it. I didn't do anything to spoil this game. I was even going to do this with a friend who, unfortunately, will not be joining me. So I will be going at this alone. This game is going to make you laugh. And then the pops have already begun. Welcome, Glitch and Holder. I don't know if I'm gonna laugh or be horrified or be confused. That's what we find out now. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the... Oh, God.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
I can go at this
and
alone.
Then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Right, I can move. Can I just sit back down and get back to work? Where's the VR chat command? I want to do that. Alright, well... I can interact with the phone, but not the computer. Okay, I gotcha. Paperwork. There's no jumping. Okay, I can crouch. I hate Mondays. Yep, I've seen this coffee mug, but Mondays are okay. Hello? 429? Non-existent. 428? I can't get in there.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Unfortunately not, Glitch. I have been told this game's better experienced alone. So, I'm gonna go at it alone, for now. Hence why I will not be joined by my original guest I had in mind for when I wanted to... I could turn that PC off! Alright, so... It's so bright outside. Is there even an outside world? Well, what is this? Is this the back rooms of, like, offices? The back rooms if it were complete? Can I turn this one off, too? Already, I'm shutting off my fellow coworkers' PCs down. Hello. Hi. Okay, I guess I don't turn on the VR mode from there. Have a good stream. I'll just go back to sleep. Sorry, glitch. What the... You're telling me I can interact with this coffee mug. And the one on the floor. But I go up to any PC that's just on and I just turn it off. Well, I'll say this. This game's already got me mystified. I do love the Gmod-like graphics, so that's always good. Phone. I've already love that you're exploring. Yeah, I know, right? Just break the game's logic. It's all good. Whatever. See. Come on, Glitch.
Stanley
Don't be
came
grumpy.
To a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
You know what? Forget you, storyteller. I'm going in the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Why? Game. Anything? There's no jumping.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Can I get a VR headset then? Well, in fact, I think this game was originally a Half-Life mod.
Yes,
I thought it was a G mod.
Really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Okay, fine. Here, I will stare at this painting. This most generic painting of water.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
Okay,
It's
fine.
possible
Fuck you,
that this is
game.
why everyone left.
Here.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
There we go. Now we'll continue. I just wanted one quick drink, and the game has to call me creepy for staring at a picture of water a little too intimately. You only call something creepy when it's staring right at you, and it's a pair of eyes. Look, game. If you want creepy, I could do it right now. Watch me. I'm gonna do it. There. Are you creeped out, game? You creeped out, audience? No? Maybe? I don't know. By the way, just so everyone knows, I'm not pissed off. I'm actually going along with this. Surprisingly, I am actually enjoying this so far. I'll take that as a compliment. Two ways to go. I think the narrative wants me to go to the left. I'm gonna ignore the narrative and go straight.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Gabe! That's right, I'm not bright. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm perhaps the dumbest employee ever. I want my hard hat that says dumbest employee ever. Don't ask questions. It's just been declared.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Oh, yeah?
You've been neglecting Stanley. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay, actually, yeah, this is good.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Alright, so... I'm gonna try and redo everything I've done, because I don't... Oh no! I don't know what I'm doing. Turn that off. We'll ignore that. I love Mondays. Lemon, no, I want to enjoy the game and be surprised. I just got done telling Glitch this.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, game, I'm gonna once again deny it and go to the door on the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ah! Alright, anyway.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Cold drinks, anyone?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
Okay.
Really worth it.
I'll stare at the chairs. And then I will imagine this is VR chat. And I will imagine I am...
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
Okay.
It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Alright, well, fine.
But
We're going.
at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Alright, this time I will not jump
Stanley,
off.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Excuse me? I think there's only one person currently in the chat who could tell me what to do.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
I don't know who this infamous she is. I already don't like it. If it's who I think it is and she's armed with a knife, I already want to jump down again.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Well, I can't escape. Alright.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Um.
I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you you to come in and tell me all about
Your damn wall.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Yeah, what? Fine.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Please press G. I'll press H. I'll press F. I'll press T. I'll press T again. I'll press T for the third time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe? Okay.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
What if I don't want to watch the TV?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up
I'll
from his
stare at the
desk to
fridge.
realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Okay.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
I thought we established I didn't have a wife. You tell me you don't have a wife. Now you tell me I have one. Okay, fine. Plastic mannequin doll thing.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be?
Okay.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay, Gabe. I'll play along. What happens if I don't push anything? What if I actually do what the voice says this time? The awkward silence. Indeed. I wonder. Okay, pushing the wrong key does nothing. Is this a test of patience? I wonder. Let's find out. So, while I sit here awaiting, I hope everyone's having a good day. Sorry to glitch that that I didn't get to do, God, what is that game? A Way Out together. But I think that is gonna probably just be a November thing, so I should go to sleep. You have a good one, Lemon. Otherwise, I have no idea what I'm getting into other than simple amusement. Is there really a timer to this? Oh, okay, so the mouse can move me. I didn't even know that. God damn it, storyteller. Forcing me to go along with you.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Fine.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Please die. What? Eh? It's never the end, it's never the end, it's never the end, it's never the end, it's never the end. Ah! I wanted to get Dragon Dogma 2, but when I saw that you had to buy save stats, I was like, is this game for real? You know, I haven't even beaten the first one, but I have played the second one. Sorry, no, the other way around. I played the first one, but I haven't played the second game.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh no. What received? Aha. Oh no. 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 I fucked it up. No! God damn it. No!
Doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Do not alter without consulting Whiteboard Manager. Who is Whiteboard Manager? Oh, we don't have a Whiteboard Manager. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper guy, synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of blank. Not cost efficient. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rate of graph increases per slide. Please, no more charts, please. A beginning. The Boss Appreciation Minute. On your Boss Appreciation Minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out in triplicate and return to your boss in Forget this. Forget all this. I'm going on a bromance date. You can't stop me. I'm leaving this cursed world. Going through to broom closet. Yeah, let's go.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
There's a reason. You can't fool me.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Oh, okay.
He's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm telling the story here. I'm going downstairs and I'm leaving. I'm going on that strange bromance date thing I mentioned because boredom. Let's go. Hey, look! We're in hell! Let's go.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And
In the car.
He came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Game, you go, game, no,
Soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it
no.
was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
Oh.
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a
exit?
voice in my
Okay,
head
we can go.
dictating everything that I'm doing and
Let's
thinking?
run away.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me.
These rooms
thinking
do
about
bear
how it's
repeating.
Describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Oh, no.
Hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
Is the exit behind this board?
Certain beyond a doubt that this was in fact a dream.
Need a crowbar.
The voice we'd seen float and make the magical stars just a moment ago. How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin. the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
You can't jump. We disabled
This is
it. No,
the story
seriously?
of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
It's never the end. It's never the end. It's never the end. Oh, the loop! Okay. What if I try to really disobey the voice? What if I don't go outside? What if I just close my door?
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Again? What? 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 Okay, yeah, I could see the horror application of this game. You're in an endless loop and you can never escape. It's like a prison. Wait. They ask for the... I'm gonna ignore that.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Game? Are you picking up on paranoia, game? Don't mind me, I'm armed with the pencil sharpener. I'll make you stick your finger in there and you can get that sharpened. Who farted? Quite the classic thing written on a cup. Okay, I can't see. Wait. Mile? I like work. I like work. I just hate my boss. Excuse me. Hiccups. Okay. 2. 3. I don't like this anymore. Suddenly, I feel like something is just waiting. Lying in wait! To ambush me.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's play along for now. So, I don't see...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside. You take it out, passively aggressive out on coworker. Using sliders to ensure employees that everything's okay. Make sure your slider has a slick blue graph. Try red! Just try red! Everyone is unique. You most of all. Thank you, game. Number of slides on this slide. Slides, charts, and charts and slides. Alright, we're going. We're not subjecting myself to that again. Let's not interact with the broom closet this time.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Hello? Look. How do I get out of this? I just want to leave and go hang out with my friends and go on that romantic date thing crap I've been joking about for like the past... since Space Marine 2. This is the way out. Executive bathroom. Yes, let's hide here. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast. Money crispy. Extreme bathrooms. Oh boy. I feel in the luxury in here. Hold on. Wait a minute. What if... I think I have an idea. I think I know how to get this thing to activate. Because the story wants me to go that way. But let's look around. I know what I'm doing. Incoming ending. Probably bad ending. This is not elevator. This is like a washing machine. Alright, I'm here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
That is not correct key. I have a feeling that's the key to death. You're hiding a true key. And I think the computers are the real secret behind it. No? That would have been clever. What if I don't go in there? What if I try to go back now? Damn it, game. Well, there's only one direction.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That's totally not ominous. You know that moment when you're really thinking to yourself, play along? Run away. Play along? Run away. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not making that decision again. I've learned my lesson. I'm gonna take this as a moment to go get up, go grab a drink, and I'll let you guys in the chat make the decision. So, I will BRB. Feel free to type down mind controller escape. Actually, hold on. Can I just do a poll? Can I do a poll? Gauge. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna make this into a poll. Alright, here we go. I've done it. I'll let you guys make this decision. Now I don't get to make a choice here. I'll let my audience make a choice. But in the event I don't get any responses, I will have a default to call upon. So I will be right back to go grab a drink. So I will do this. And let you guys make the choice. Alright, I return. I'm back. Let's see what fate has in store for me. What is my path in this cursed thing that I now am staring at? What does everyone say? What is thy path? What does everyone... Alright, escape! Everyone says it's time to run away. I am now going to end this poll. I think the shortest poll I've ever done. Actually, the shortest and the longest of a while of a poll I've ever done. And run away. Alright, yay, let's go. We're gonna go on that romantic date and forget the frickin' mind control room. Let's go. We're out. Goodbye.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No, you can't stop
At
me.
this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Damn it! It's never the end, it's never the end, it's never the end, it's never the end.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end.
How
in his
about
benevolent
I
fellow
just
life.
jump off the thing?
Stanley,
I could still get out. Let me climb out. Let me climb out. Or not.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay. What a troll. Alright, let's go.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Is this a way out? Does this mean I finally get to spend time with my friends? Do I get to go on that romantic date I've been going on about for, like, God knows how long? Do I finally get a vacation? Do I finally get to know freedom? Let's find out.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. No! I'm gonna have that stuck in my head now. Filing cabinets. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. Probably the office. Layout of the area. The 2 doors. Okay. You know what? Not bad. And interactive credits. Ooh, left or right, left or right, left or right. Oh, let's trust right. Office clock. Boss's office. Ah! I see.
Now then, this elevator for sure would get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be in the story.
How about we don't go that way? I don't want to be trapped in the story. I want to go on that nice romantic date I keep joking about. Maintenance room. Fun? There's a fun room? Excuse me? Warzone? Okay. Alien base, awesome. Warzone. In early development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on the battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the Nanoator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. I guess it depends upon how you go about it. I mean, you could kind of have like an ironic sense to the game. I don't know. I guess you just don't know until you give it a try. I mean, the worst I could probably see is a game that just doesn't take itself too seriously, but then I don't know. I mean, I think people can accept the fact that if you made it something like this, it could kind of be a joke compared to if you made it look more truer to life. I don't know. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Oh god. From Marius. Subject. A question brought forth by the intense passion of soul. I am Stanley. Are you spying on me? I don't... From Quakesteer. Subject question. Will the game feature capybaras? I don't know. From Pixel Sith, subject, Dear Narrator. Dear Narrator, how do you stay in shape? Sincerely, Michael Rock the Martin. Are you gay? Is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Narrator emails. After the second trailer, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Ah, okay. Hey, look, there's the pencil sharpener. The best weapon of the game. Carbon timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Ah, I see. These levers were originally part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever, and narrator would describe what color they had to pull. Zending. The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. This is kind of fascinating. I like this. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down, with freedom above and count down below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the two endings together instead. How do you mess that up? Alright, so... we're not gonna go in there just yet. I feel like that's the end. Let's explore a little more. Who knows? Maybe we'll find something while we're in... I guess office purgatory? Oh, God. Stanley's office, from left to right. The evolution of Stanley's office over time. First was created in 2011, and the second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. You know, now that I think about it, I missed out on this. Like, I am not joking. This is my first time playing this, so... I missed out on all these years. I always thought the Stanley Parable was like a joking horror game. Now, it's just more a joke game. I'd recommend you keep playing after this ending. Yeah, I'm going to. I noticed this is one of those games to where choices really do matter. But then I didn't know. I was not certain on what I was getting myself into. I had a feeling it was under the same engine as like Half-Life and all that good stuff.
Being you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you.
Okay, so I think I've explored everything that I could possibly explore, so let's go to the light and push the big old switch. The switch to where? I have no idea. Not this way.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Jokingly, can I go on that bromantic date now? How much you want to bet the answer's still no? No, you're stuck in this office forever. No, you're not allowed to go see your friends. You're not allowed to go see your family. You're not even allowed to go see your pets. You're not even allowed to think of the notion of freedom. You are in this loop forever and always. Pull the lever, me.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
Ah,
Don't
let's let it happen. Is never the end, 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 is never the end.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
One more. I need one more ending. I think once I get all the endings, I can unlock whatever this PC does. Unless... Let's find out. Okay, nope, I need to get all the endings, so... It's not just a one-time deal. I think I need every ending. Oh, I had a feeling.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Hello, I am at work, so I'll try to drop by as much as I can, but it won't be as much as I could. That is fine. I am figuring this game out.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
That's actually not bad. It's no Panic at the Disco, but it's fine. It's no Sabaton, but it's okay.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that is interesting.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ah, okay. So this is the way. For what this has been very enjoyable. Very, very enjoyable. I'm just gonna say this now. Thank you, Holder, for recommending this game.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I've already accepted the fact I wanted freedom. It's why I've been joking about going on a romantic date for God knows how long. Okay, let's go. I think I've made my point.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Huh. I feel that console over there is going to be important, so I better remember it.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Hmm.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that?
Okay.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events...
Oh, hold on.
music.
I think I get it now.
Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Well, rip. It's never the end, it's never the end, it's never the end, it's never the end. Welcome to Stanley Heaven! Oh god. Oh my god, do I need to actually disable all these? Interesting. The Stanley Heaven, not Stanley Heaven. What? Oh no. No, I don't get it. Heaven, this is purgatory. Okay. Maybe if I hit everything of the same color, maybe something will happen. Let's try red. Oh, purgatory. I think this is the only ending where you have to restart yourself.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
It's quiet. Too quiet. Someone was playing solitaire.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's go to the one on the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Because I don't think I've gone this way with this path.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Right. Damn it, game. Forcing me to go this direction.
No, it's to the right, my mistake.
Oh, now I want to go to the left. Okay.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
I wonder now.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I wonder now. No.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
Yes.
Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Oh, okay. So I have more than one option now. Let's go this way. Inner guilt. Everyone knows what you did. They're just holding back to let you torture yourself.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Probably not.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I think this is another loop.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Hello.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Yay!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Oh, hi. This can't be any different.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
I didn't realize I was such a puppet. Ah, you teasing me. Let's go this way.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Ah, well, I tried. Ooh, solitaire. Okay, that distraction's done.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Wow. Ah ha ha ha. Very funny. Very dramatic with this music. Okay, that was weird.
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay, so remember that plant, conveniently. Take a moment. Budget analysis, personal files, department accounts, consolidation reports, annual reviews, locked door behind me because that's very standard. Broken copy machine because why do you even want that thing in the first place? Another broken copy machine because I guess that's also the standard too. No, of course not.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No, no, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Where does the other line go? I think it loops back into the office, so let's see if that's where it takes me. I think the line is gonna loop, isn't it?
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Is this the way out? Is this where I...
Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for
I
it.
finally go on that bromance, jokingly here. I finally get to do awesome things with my friends.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
I love how it has been trademarked. Even the narrator's starting to get annoyed. Just follow the wacky lines that even go into the ceiling.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
The confusion ending. You've been playing the confusion ending for...
Hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing. Wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end. Does anything change here? Go back to hell, because this doesn't feel like heaven. Alright. Begin the game again. 'Cause I don't know what's too different this time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
The game of insanity, indeed. New content, okay. You've got me curious.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I guess we find out, Mr. Narrator. I'm just as confused as you are. Is it just because this is the Ultra Deluxe Edition? Is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Alright, well.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Does that mean I finally get to go do something new? Do something great?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
I can jump?
All right. All right, let's see. It's... the jump circle?
Look at me. I'm jumping for joy. I can't jump anymore! No! Wait.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Alright.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Oh, I'm ready too. Thank you for enjoying the new content. What a great troll.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally
Now,
accountable.
X.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Oh, hi! We are in the new content. Okay. Well, I guess we keep going. I had a feeling I was getting teased anyway.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
I don't want to be shown something. Never mind, I want to be shown something. Because I had the feeling that's just going to take me back to the old boring game. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special, and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
You bought me another copying machine. That doesn't work. I like it, narrator. Alright, let's go ahead and go to the real thing.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
No! I thought I was finally going to escape. When you finally want to run away, but then you find out, actually, you can't.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Our first kiss, my first car, the release of Stanley Parable in 2013. Yeah, some people probably ironically had their first kiss on 2013 and their first car in 2013. What significance did 2013 have to me? Nothing comes to mind. And I can't say the first job because that would have been like 2011, I feel. If it had been 2011, then I could have said, well, first job. You know what? I think I went into a major. That's what I'll say 2013 was all about. I'm probably wrong on that too, so... The original remake. I wonder if the Gmod map even still exists. Good times. Oh yeah, I'll bet. Good times. Again, this was one of those games I missed when it first came out. Much like Portal. And Half-Life. Yeah, I missed anything that was like Valve, aside from Left 4 Dead. That's it. Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. Those were like the only two Valve games I actually ever played. And I will at some point do every single Valve game, including the VR. I do have the VR Half-Life Alyx. I just don't know how I'll do that game. I could do that recording. I could try streaming it, but I probably will not have the VTuber model for that. Maybe. So this must have been when this was the demo. Okay. Don't play for 5 years? That's an achievement? Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. (2014). New video game releasing today. Creator surprisingly down to earth. Rogue Turk goes from Scandal to New Crisis. Okay. In loving memory, Little Stanley. Ah. Ah, invisible barriers.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now...
Persona
it's
3?
nothing.
Are you kidding
It's no
me?
games
Like
at
the
all.
original they
It
mean,
isn't
right?
even the
And
Stanley
not the
Parable
remake?
anymore. It's just a
I mean, it's
husk.
kind of ironic because they do have a
Lifeless
remake
husk
that
with
just...
an
I don't want to
hour
say
of new
recently came
elevated
out, but...
content.
I think it was released this year. Correct me if I am wrong. You know what? Never mind. I'm going to take a moment, and I'm actually going to fact-check myself on Persona 3, so... Excuse me that I will now Google that. Persona 3... Was it called Reloaded? Yeah, Reloaded. Persona 3 Reloaded. Oh, I just want to figure stuff out. View. Yeah, okay. So it was this year, but that was in February. I guess it's a bit ironic, but I didn't play this in February like I should have. Then again, I was originally meant to do this with a friend too, but I figured, you know what, I will take the advice and go at this alone. And now I can see why he says go at it alone. But that is interesting and funny that they bring up Persona 3, because Persona 3 Reloaded actually came out this year. Which I do plan to do, but I had to beat Persona 5 first before I do Persona 3. Probably going to be picking that back up in November. More than likely. The original remake, what's downstairs? Memory zone maintenance. Once again, on the game's narrative, not having the freedom to open what is beyond that door. Person of the year. They are completely blanked. 2 doors choice.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
You know,
Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
I think I am actually enjoying this new content overall too.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art.
I didn't get to read all that game.
Gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights.
Hey, there's a
Can't even
good comment
imagine why
here,
I'd have the room to stick
but I can't read it. Okay, so we're in Steam territory now. This is fascinating. I really gotta love how it's still the simplistic engine that was made or used for Half-Life. Oh boy, negative review, negative review. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. This game does certainly have its moments to where it's not as glorious, but so far I'd say this has been enjoyable. Alright,
Okay,
here we
let's see
go.
what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to.
You know, now I am
Mark
curious.
for my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel
2016.
like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Apparently it's sterling enough to have all this stuff included into it, so... I guess it's a testament to say how good the game is. Though it does make me curious on the original fluff a little bit.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
What if I don't go in? Well... I can go into the void. Can I close the door and embrace the void? Actually have a game-breaking moment here? That's right, chat. I've done it. I broke the game. Unfortunately, not for long.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 200.
I think he repeats himself,
the
doesn't
logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes
well,
impossible
let's give him
to
a little bit
manufacture.
longer.
It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say...
the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until
I'll give it a
inevitably
little longer.
we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices.
Okay, yup.
or what
I think
have
I get it.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this
I
kind of person,
see.
and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a
I guess that's
mouthfeel
debatable.
that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've got me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise.
I think this is when I hit the skip button.
Treatise. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely.
I
Or
think they
perhaps
might
they'll
have
simply grant
already
this
with
particular
Helldivers,
user the
but
ability
then
to
I
change their
don't
review,
remember.
so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Okay, did the narrator give up? Did he just, Narrator? Narrator? You okay, buddy? You were quite the chatterbox, and now you're just dead silent. Do I hit the skip button again?
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes?
You didn't say anything!
Unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
Oh, let me fix that.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year?
Oh, let's make it beyond a year. Uh-oh. I think we killed the narrator. Okay, so pressing the skip button kills the narrator. Gotcha! That's how we defeat him. We defeat him with the power of skipping. Wow, even the clock fell.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth.
Okay, narrator goes insane after a while. I wonder.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Maybe if I keep pushing it, we'll sink into the ocean. I think that's what's going on here. Okay, well. Okay. This just gets more and more interesting. Well, I guess I can't skip anymore. We're committed. Alright, well. I guess we just move. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Alright. So this has been good. There's at least maybe 2 or 3 things I want to examine before I wrap this up. So, I'm gonna go back to the new content.
All of his co-workers were gone.
And maybe see what happens if I go the other
Stanley
way
decided
instead
to
of
go
going
to
into
meeting.
the,
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Instead of going into... God, what the hell do they call those things? You walk through them. Why? The vents, yes. Oh, they even had to put a big sign.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay, well, I guess we're in it for the long haul now. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. So they're not gonna have me go through all that again.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Alright, well, I'm gonna do this. So that way, when that day comes, and they truly do have the Stanley Parable 2, assuming that's just not mixed in with this, we'll be able to...
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
They're back. 2 doors. Okay. Okay.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Alrighty. So, I guess this is the indication that there's a second game in the works, which means I'll have to play that now. Sway to the show floor. New content. From the bus. Making me feel special. Going up here. I gotta say, they got really creative with the Ultra Deluxe.
Here we are. Go on.
Oh, my friend, this is the second game? Well, okay then. I guess we're in it for a little bit longer. then. I don't know if I'll be able to access this right off the bat if I were to wrap it up here. How long have I been at it? I think this is a good place to end it and revisit on a future stream. You know, I am going to agree. I don't know if I can come back here, because there was one thing I wanted to go check real quick. If I can't, for whatever reason, go back here, I'll just have to redo everything to get to this point, so... Let's see if this just takes me back to... Alright, here.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We're gonna ignore that for now.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's go on the one
This
on the
was not
right.
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
There are 2 things I'm gonna explore before I do wrap this up. I'm gonna go down that way at one point, but that's gonna be the last thing I do. I want to see if there's a potential landing I can make.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Because I do see a door over there.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about...
Now!
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Blue, red. Alright. I can see this is one of those paths that can vary.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The 2 of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
What the fuck have I walked into? Welcome, Duggo. You've walked into... Well, I guess what we'll describe as a feel-good spot. Otherwise, you missed quite the adventure. Believe it or not, they fit the second game into the first game, but I am going to do the second game probably a tad bit later, as there is something I am wanting to do after this. Doesn't look very fun. Maybe we go back here now.
No, wait. Where are you going?
You don't have to restart.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
I understand.
No! Oh. Thank God.
Oh, hold on.
You lived.
I need to do it again.
You have me worried. No. No. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Here we go. This time for real.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Maybe one more time, because I am getting slower.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Geronimo!
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
God.
But I guess that was too much to ask.
Uh,
It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Okay, you know what? How about no? You want me to have a choice, storyteller? Okay, fine. Get cheesed, I'm going back.
Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me? I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
That's the only way to end this ending, by ending this way. Oh, okay, so I have to finish it. Okay. Okay, I think one more should do it. The end is never the end is never the end after all. Yup, I think the poor narrator has been beyond hurt. He's soul crushed. Alright, here we go.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
The end is never the end is never the end is never the end is never the end. It's never the end. Alright, so... just to quickly go over something.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
I mean... oh, jeez. Don't tell me I accidentally unlocked another story. I feel like I unlocked another story doing that. I love random chance dialogue. Ah, I understand. Okay, so this is gonna be a next time thing because there's apparently a whole nother game beyond this point. Oh my god. If they fit a third game in this, then yeah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, deeply, madly.
You know what, narrator?
Love.
I'm leaving.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright, so I'm gonna take a drink. Then I'm gonna take the first door on the left.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Aha, I see. The door on the left, go this way. And that wouldn't have been opened. Alright.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. I see. Oh well. Broom closet ending, really? I didn't even know that was a thing. I mean, I knew you could go in there, but I didn't even... Alright, well...
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Can I still interact with this? Oh. I guess there's just a chance the game can just do that for you. Alright, well I think this pretty much repeats, doesn't it? I don't think there's any difference if I go this way, other than by chance dialogue. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Let's go this
The door
way.
behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Alright. So let's do that. If it's what I think it is, disable the one... Wait, yeah, there is something I haven't done, so I will actually go back this way. And the game's letting me get back on track, which is generous, so...
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
We're going this way.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Just remember that you haven't listened to the narrator every time yet. That is also probably true, too. There's probably still much to the original game I've yet to even unlock.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Obedience ending? I'm guessing that's if I just shut the machine off, because the last time I did that...
To believe it. He couldn't accept
what I ended up doing was, pushing yes on the machine instead of no.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
There we go.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
You mean to
It was
tell me
perhaps the only thing
this
worth knowing.
whole
Stanley stepped
time
through the open door.
I could have gone on that jokingly romantic date if all I did was just listen to this guy? I've been fighting him and fighting and fighting him, and you mean to tell me he had my best interests at heart? God damn it, Gabe. Alright, let's go.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game! Are you kidding me? I could have easily beaten the game if I just listened the first time. Alright. There's just one more end I'm gonna get, and then I'm actually gonna call it. I need to go find the broom closet again.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Okay. We will be revisiting this the next time I stream this. For now, we're gonna leave this alone.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
Alright.
he entered the door on his left.
If I think I recall, the broom is this direction.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic. Like a combination of a much smaller but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So, in other words, this
And so
direction.
he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Aha, here it is.
Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Okay. How I'm gonna probably be ending this off, so... I don't know if this is a timed event, or... I gotta interact with stuff. So, let's find out. So, we'll just stare at the door. Yeah, that is true. I was here before, but if there was an ending for it, I didn't know that there was a potential. I waited here, but I don't know if anything in particular happens. Unless... But we'll wait a few moments. Nope, okay. This is when that Ultra Deluxe Edition jumping would be great. Because I have the feeling if I accidentally... You know what, let's start over. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
I wonder if it's a circumstantial thing, too. Like, some situations are circumstantial. Like, if he mentions it, then that's a scenario that could be a possible ending. That actually would be great for, like, a game in the future to where you can only get certain endings on certain playthroughs. Like, allow me to explain. Like, right now, he mentioned someone is following. This person now exists. But if every other time he doesn't mention, then they don't exist. I know that sounds weird, but that actually would be, like, great if there was a ending where you could only get it by a random chance. Alright, this time let's just try obeying him. Then not, you know.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, let's not disobey at all.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. Well, shit.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Okay, well then.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. That's characteristically annoying. I think it's time to confess something. Uh-oh. What is being confessed? Go ahead and confess that. I have been trolled. damn it!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Alright, well... I'm guessing down there might house an ending, which makes me think there has to be a way to survive the fall. Okay. Huh. Maybe there is a way to break the game's narrative.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Doesn't matter, we're gonna go through the blue this time.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Stanley walked through the blue door.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Okay, that's new. Ah.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
It was purely to
If it's the
spite
latter, well,
you.
I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
The end is never the end, 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 the end of the hi!
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Oh my god.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the... Oh god.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Oh no, I'm getting lost! I'm accidentally
Okay, so what
walking on the
exactly
orange
do we do here?
grass.
Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh, I can run! I'm fast! Let's kick it to blue. Yeah! Go in the blue goal.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes.
Yay.
Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
Oh god. Oh, get in.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun?
Get in there.
Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because
I mean-
guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Okay, well then. Maybe let's figure something out. I leave, this is what I come back to. This game.
Hold on. What are you doing?
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
I think I found Silent Hill, but the Office Edition. We was supposed to do a way out, but I'd forgotten about that. I did too, so... And I was supposed to have ended this, like, I think an hour ago, but oh well, I'm committed. I want to at least see where this goes. I mean, that is true, Duggo. That is true. We did do it together. Glitch also wants to do a playthrough. I've yet to do a stream edition of it, so... Ah! Right back to where I was. Ah, I see. This is the older concept. Older concept actually looks pretty nice, too.
I
Hi.
wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Alright. Before I do anything stupid, I'm gonna end it in purgatory. So, I'd like to thank Holder for introducing me to this game. This was a blast. There's definitely going to be more. I'm pretty sure there's endings I didn't get yet. I know, judging from the one area, I feel like there's a way I can escape via, like, the truck area, I'm guessing. Otherwise... I don't know, hold on. I do want to see one final thing. Oh yeah, I had a feeling. There is more to this game. I am gonna quickly check one thing.
No, this isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Again, this is also going to be in the next stream, so we'll touch upon two.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, that's still closed off. So, that kind of sucks. There's probably still some endings that I haven't gotten for this game, so... I'm probably going to be doing this at some point in the future, down the road. I feel I got a good chunk of it. This game was fun. Definitely fun. I am glad I picked this up, and I'm kind of... I'll just say, I miss stuff. When it comes to Valve, there is a lot I missed, and it sort of does make me glad that I may have missed it. Because now I get to enjoy it years later for the very first time. The only exception, of course, being Left 4 Dead. I've played Left 4 Dead back then, but I haven't done any of the Half-Life. I haven't done this. And I do intend to do those games. Well, I take it back. I did do Portal, but only Portal 2 and the co-op mode. I do need to do the first game, so there is that. Otherwise... This isn't Valve, I think. Well, this was what I consider it Valve because it's pretty much... It's at least made with the same engine. But anything that's made with this engine always feels so great. But yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap things here. And jokingly go on that romantic date. But that joke now being pushed to the side, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just end the stream here. Like and subscribe, stay tuned. Halloween is down the road, and I have once again changed plans. Well, okay, I haven't changed... I'm still on the new set of plans. So, with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye. Wait, I'm not allowed to end the stream. What do you mean, doggo? You're gonna make me do a few more moments? Goodbye, don't let the yandere... Oh god, is there a yandere ending? Is this what you're gonna tell me? Okay, doggo, you want me to hold off on ending. What am I doing? What is this thing that I am magically doing? Speak now, doggo, or forever hold your peace, as I will end this stream. Okay, well, I guess with that being said, I have not gotten an answer, so I'm now going to officially end the stream here. See y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.